classic mafia operating in places like Chicago, New York, Detroit, where there were generally new wave immigrant populations the last, going back 100 years ago, who'd come from countries where they were controlled by local mafias. And so it was just business as usual. You did not have a lot of mafia type good old boy stuff. You've seen a lot of famous Western movies where the bad sheriff takes over and the town folks overthrow him. Those are based on hundreds of real stories. They called them brush fire rebellions. And a lot of times establishment types, the railroad, others would come and kill somebody for their land. And people, the general folks that had fought the British and come over here to get away from tyranny, they just started killing people. That's 1776. We're not bowing down. We're not licking your boots. The police, very polite. Everybody knew what this country was about. Not perfect, but compared to everybody else, the best. That is the last thing. They don't want Mexicans coming over here and becoming Americans. They don't want that. They don't want them adopting red, white, and blue, guns, freedom, private property, something that Hispanics of cultures I've seen out there absolutely gravitate towards and want. No. They're not going to let that marriage made in heaven happen. They're not going to let that happen. So they cram and ram La Reconquista, Mecha, Raza junk. You don't ever hear them saying whites can have a college fund or something. Or no. It's only, quote, minorities to keep them in a group under the globalist control on their plantation. And the drug cartels are all about Mecha, La Raza, the group, the race is what the Raza means. And radio stations called La Invasora, the invasion, La Reconquista, the reconquering. This is what's taught. This is what I was taught at Anderson High in 2 classes by white people. All Ford Foundation funded it, later came out. And that's why it's now in the McAllen Monitor. Never would have been there. Local news all knows about this. You can go to any Spanish class in this country that I've seen and it's being taught because it's the curriculum. It's the curriculum by the big banks. This is what they want. They want us at each other's throats. I mean, endorsing what is known now as the, quote, Mexican culture, corruption, drugs, people groveling, destruction of freedom, humans used as slaves, forced off their land. This is what we're told. This is what's taught in schools. It says and there's video of it. They give the Mexican anthem, national anthem. They pledge allegiance to Mexico. They're taught Mexican history. They're taught about the La Reconquista and about the evil gringo. Now, that's what's taught in America. And here it is in the newspaper now that it's a national story. It says here, it says now that because it's a national news story, it's being covered. Spanish classes riles parent. What about Spanish class is treason? It is. Coming in saying, overthrow this government. I mean, my wife lived in Spain for 6 years, folks. She speaks fluent Spanish and reads it on the little Mexican grocery stores, the bodegas. She'll be driving in the countryside, and she's like, what is that? What is this? Sometimes we'll listen to the Mexican radio in Austin, and it's all these jokes because it's in another language, so people that speak English don't know this is going on. It's a perfect way to try to turn Hispanics into a giant Ku Klux Klan group against white people and divide the country, which is what the globalists want. Here it is. The school says there was nothing wrong with having students recite Mexican Pledge of Allegiance and anthem. An assignment for a high school Spanish class that made students recite the Mexican Pledge of Allegiance and national anthem has upset a parent. I don't see a connection between all this Mexican history and the allegiance and the national anthem and learning Spanish, said William E. Brinson, said in an interview with conservative radio host Glenn Beck yesterday. I find it appalling, the indoctrination that is going on down here. So the 47-year-old truck driver who has instructed his 15-year-old daughter to take a video recording of the exercise at McAllen's early college high school. All right, I'll finish up with this when we get back. And folks, this is what's being taught. This is what's being taught. And everybody's under fear of the drug gangs here. And the Mexican military operates here with impunity. This is globalism. This is the end of all sovereignty.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
You can bet your life on eFoods Direct. Alex has told you about the amazing, great-tasting, long-term storable food from eFoods Direct and how a food savings account is your best insurance against natural disasters, job loss, and high food costs. But did you know that this dehydrated food also protects you against foodborne contaminants like E. coli and salmonella? Those poisonous critters can't live in low-moisture food from eFoods Direct. Ask for the Alex Fall Special. The Fall Special is a 24-day supply of food in a convenient portable container. A $259 value for only $199. Save $60 on 160 servings of the best food on the planet. Call 800-409-5633 and ask for the Alex Fall Special and go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 24 hours, 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
From the shattered Rust Belt come the Las Vegas.
Run along with me. No one will be here. I just came to watch my LED.
Life Before the Collapse. Vinyl LP by the Las Vegas.
Drinking too much coffee. I'm in the shade somewhere.
Life Before the Collapse by the Las Vegas on 180-gram vinyl and mastered especially for vinyl by legendary audio engineer Steve Hall.
This guy, why don't want me to this guy?
Life Before the Collapse by the Las Vegas. The Las Vegas. Now available at Amazon.com.
Globalists are only a few thousand, so they will always play off different cultures and groups against each other. The globalists will always ally themselves with groups that are minorities, teach them a liberation theology of persecution. This has been taught for 50 plus years now in high schools and colleges in the U.S. And I mean, I remember these stories for years. We need to get Watson, one of the Watsons, or Aaron, or somebody to do a report tonight on the nightly news. You can just pull it up. Children forced to give Mexican Pledge of Allegiance, forced to recite anthem. I mean, that's been in the news for decades. This is a curricula, and it's only now in the Monitor newspaper in McAllen, Texas, because it was on the Glenn Beck show. You see, you're not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to deal with it. You're not supposed to get into it. I got a bunch of other articles here that I want to be getting into that's coming up later in the broadcast. And as I said earlier, I'm going to get into Fast and Furious. Oh, it's now admitted. The head of the committee, Issa, the congressman, says it was going on during the Bush administration. Oh, you mean Iran-Contra was going on during Reagan? Oh, you mean guns were being shipped out of the country and heroin back in the 1950s out of Vietnam? It was called Indochina. The U.S. had ships that landed and aircraft that landed, and the French loaded it on. There were congressional hearings about that in the 70s. There were congressional hearings in the late 90s where the CIA Inspector General admitted our government ships the majority of cocaine in and launders it in U.S. banks because Congress actually had a meeting about it. And now our troops go on national news, Geraldo, Fox, ABC, BBC. I've played all the newscasts here and say, yes, we helped grow the opium and then we helped ship it out of Afghanistan. And there's no discussion about, but then you put people in jail for using it? Humans are addicted, are addictive personalities. We have it chemically. The system knows, so they put out Oxycontin for people that are into legal drugs. And they put out methamphetamine for those that are into illegal, and cocaine and heroin. And they bring it in and they keep it illegal to keep the price high. And then they put you in their private prisons working for 25 cents an hour, displacing the workers. Everybody loves to complain about illegal aliens driving down wages and being on welfare. And I'm here to complain about it. I don't like paying for it. I'm sick of it. Especially when I get a Mexican flag waved in my face all day. But I'm smart enough to understand the social engineering that did it. And I'm smart enough to know that it's the real thing taking our jobs is the 4 million people working for 25 cents an hour or less in all these private prison industries, which in every case are owned by big mega banks known to launder the drug money. I'm going to say it again. The drug dealers bring the drugs in, their agents, the police, bring you to jail, their agents, the judges, put you in jail. The goody two-shoe juries go along with it, and you're put in a jail and in a prison run and profited by the drug dealers. I know I've talked about this for a long time, but it's now out. What I told you 6-8 months ago, Bush is involved, and it goes right back to Clinton. It goes right back. It never stopped. 1832, British monopoly, skull and bones, opium to this country. When their monopoly got broken in the 30s, they made it illegal in the U.S. Before, they could just control it out of India. But the French started taking it out after that, out of Indochina, and so they had to make it illegal. They had to make it illegal so they can make more money when you run it in your veins. That's so important to them. Now, we're going to go to break. We're going to come back and start taking your phone calls. Remember, this is listener-supported radio. Support our sponsors. Become PrisonPlanet.tv members. Check out the great books, videos, T-shirts, everything at Infowars.com. We'll be right back.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, we're going to have open phones throughout this hour. More on Fast and Furious, going back to Bush, as we told you. But it's big breaking news. Fox News will probably get a Pulitzer Prize for it. Daryl Lissa now admitting the obvious because they can't go after Obama because Bush is involved. They're all involved. You think flying guns out and drugs in is something new? It's just how criminal these people are. Let's just be honest about it. And anytime you idiots use illegal drugs or legal, you're helping the globalists with their products. We're going to go to your phone calls. Got a lot of other news as well, but obviously callers bring up important news. We're going to Thomas, Nick, John, Julio, Tim, many others. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231. Let's go ahead and talk to Thomas in Pennsylvania. Thanks for holding.
Hi, Alex Jones?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I'm getting tired of Glenn Beck. I'm from New Jersey, right? Pennsylvania. And, like, who's going to get out there and take the job to be a police officer? Like, who would want the job these days? Especially in Philadelphia, 1776. You understand, Alex?
Well, yeah, because of the way they train the police and what they try to get them to do.